Booyah! What's going on, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome to this special Halloween edition of the McGruder Files. This is episode 5, where we hunt the highlights and exercise the hot takes on this wicked Halloween night. I'm your host, Philip P. Matt McGruder, rising from the shadows to carve up the latest from our 5-3 grind after that Monday night football thriller versus the Commanders. Mahomes was a wizard. Having over about 300 plus total yards and scoring 3 total touchdowns. But Pacheco's MCL sprain, got us ghosted. Week to week, probably out for 1 to 3 games. But also, welcome back Mike Pennel for the defensive line tricks. But the trade deadline demons loom. Do we go after Bradley Chubb or bust? But here we go. Tonight's guest. Here it is, my guy, as he's returning after the first episode, and I'm glad that he came back, and I asked him to come back on tonight's show for the occasion. None other than my brother, my fellow Kingdom Cast brother, as you know him, formerly known as Bad Luck Chuck. Chuck, how's it going, man?
What's happening, my guy? Let's go out and get some Halloween cheer up in here, man. Let's hit them with that. Since this
Oh,
is the Halloween
absolutely.
special. So yeah. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
man, I'm good, bro. Before I don't have anything for the kids this year, man. Sorry, kids. My fault. That candy money is going towards my car, man. So yeah, I gotta deal with that. But other than that, man, I'm good, man. We here. We here to talk Chiefs. It's Red Friday still. It's Halloween. You know what I'm saying? The season ain't over with. And we still continue to roll as we take on an AFC foe that we've been very familiar with.
And yes, that's what's probably going to be another thriller for that too, even after Halloween. So we're going to unpack the scares, the running back rotation with Elijah Mitchell debuting versus Buffalo, Spags, NASCAR, hunts, and those 3 keys to bury the Bills. So hey, everybody, grab your broom, Kingdom. Let's fly into segment 1. So let's do the news recap from the crypt. Okay, that's not good. So let's just move on to that first part. That was a terrible part.
Nah,
That Crip Tales for the Crip, man. It's growing up in the 90s, you ever saw it, or even Goosebumps, especially when it was on Nickelodeon that night, man. That good old days.
hey, these them
Anyway,
kids don't know, bro. These kids don't know, man.
no, they do not, man. Shoot, we had it. We had it, bro. Shoot. Anyway, so the Chiefs smash the Commanders 28-7. Now 5-3, rolling. And the first half, yes, it was sloppy. 5 total turnovers, 2 failed fourth downs by Washington, tied 7-7 at the break. But second half, belt to ass. Chiefs dropped 21 unanswered to start the second half. We came around, team effort, Patty Mahomes, man, down dime to Kareem Hunt for 2 yards, breaks the tie when we first got back out there rolling. And that's the thing, man. I've been wanting them to throw the ball to Kareem for a while, and they finally took advantage of that because that's what he started out with when he first started with the Chiefs 2017, 2018 till, the situation that happened with him. Then, the Kelsey 11-yard touchdown, to conclude National Tight Ends Day, where it still might be going on. Rashee Rice, 18th touchdown catch, that sealed it. Kelsey and Rice, man, combined 15 catches, 192 yards, 2 total TDs, just monsters out there. Kelsey's 83rd regular season touchdown ties Priest Holmes for the most in franchise history. And Mahomes called him the true Chiefs, chief, the culture setter. And defense, they were locked in, held Mariota to completions, 58 yards in the second half, total 260 allowed. Since week 6, we've outscored foes 89-24. 5th win in 6 games. 1 game back of Denver in the AFC West, 3 in a row. Momentum's ours. But the injuries sting. Nick Bolton got hit with a knee injury, but I think he should be good going against Buffalo. But Pacheco is another one that, got dinged up at the end with that dirty hit by that dude from the Commanders, man. MCL sprain. He's week to week. Andy Reid says we'll see how he does. But short week ahead, we got Buffalo in 2 days, man. So what was your thoughts about that game, man?
Yeah, like you said, things did get sloppy in the beginning. First half, we was, on our usual bull at times, man. But I'll give the Commanders credit because they came out, their defense came out hitting, they was flying over the field. They put up a good effort in the first half and make things a little interesting. But on our end, we kind of bailed them out because, like, even though we got some help ourselves defensively, because Debo Samuel, he dropped the pass and went up in the air. Mike Dana took advantage of it, picked it off. But on our
Yeah,
end, we returned the Commanders the favor. Travis Kelsey once again dropped the pass that led to an interception. But you know what? Right after that, I said, Trav, you better ball out the rest of the game. You got to, man. You got to make up for this now, and he did. But we'll get to that later. Um, J- just overall, man, just wasn't good, man. Like like we literally had to turn the ball over twice for us to finally give the running game a chance. Like we came out wanting to pass. Like when we do that at times, that's when we get ourselves into trouble. And right after the second interception, I was like, okay, maybe they'll finally run the ball for a change. And what do you know? They finally ran the ball, and I think it was a pretty solid drive. I think it was a pretty even pass to run ratio, and it led to the touchdown. I've said this over and over again. When we're balanced on offense, that's when we're at our best. I have
absolutely.
yet to be wrong on that, and that's just football in general. So
Yeah, I mean, I feel you there, man. So, as you mentioned in the big piggyback on what you were saying about those guys, especially Kelsey, 5 facts that could fill us from this game that could help us for Buffalo and beyond with this. And, like for example, these blueprints, as you mentioned, Kelsey, that catch, like that was like the second time this year where the ball bounced out of his hands into the defender's hands. And it was just not good, but he made up for it. 6 catches, 99 yards. He was just 1 yard away from 100. His first 100-yard season in almost like a year. That touchdown,
just
he had
like
50. Yeah,
just like Patrick was 1 yard away from 300.
right, exactly, man. And
Yeah,
but he still got a total of 300 plus because of his
the
rushing
rushing.
total. Because he's actually the NFL leader in total touchdowns right now, and he's looking good so far. But anyway, Kelsey, he has 54 yards after the catch, and we saw vintage Kelsey, as Kareem said after the game. Now 3 or 4 games with 60 plus yards and 474 yards receiving. That's the second among tight ends. Tyler Warren is number 1 in yards among tight ends this year, and he is a beast. I ain't gonna lie, that kid is a beast, man. 37 catches that leads the team. As I mentioned, 83 touchdowns now ties Priest Holmes. And then he has 250 plus yards from scrimmage this year. Only 8 Chiefs have hit that, and that leads the NFL, and no team has more than 6. And Kelsey's the culture, man. And then you got Mahomes, that second half surge where he picked it up. 15 out of 17 in the second half. 196 yards, 3 total touchdowns, and then that adds up to 21 total he has, which leads the NFL. His 17 total touchdown passes is tied for the most in the NFL. His passing yards is second in the NFL, and he's getting back to being. And if you look at somebody said touchdown percentage drive or something, or I think that's what it was. It's our highest. I think it's at 35, almost close to 40%. That's the highest it's been since Mahomes won MVP in 2018 with that 50 plus touchdown season. So
yeah,
it's like getting a glimpse of that with a mixture of the guy, as my mom would always say, play Alex Smith football, because he said a year behind Alex learning how to play the game. He's finally clicking with Matt Nagy, whether people like Matt Nagy or not. Nagy is
yeah,
tapping back into the guy that I remember. Protect the football. Especially if you're going to do the check downs or whatever, protect the football, especially if you see the opening downfield. Be efficient. Use the run game, as you mentioned. And that played a big pivotal part, which leads to another fact right here. Kareem Hunt, the Red Zone Hammer. That's my new nickname for him, or another nickname, Red Zone Hammer or Mr. Monday Night, because on Monday Night Football, and it started with us when he joined with Mahomes, he shows up on Monday Night Football. 10 total touches, 42 yards, 2 tutties, the 1-yard plunger, and then that that 2-yard grab on 4th down that he had from Mahomes. His 5 total touchdowns leads the team. He's a goal line bully that we needed. Then the defense is elite. We held the Commanders to 7 points in 8 drives. Mariota only had 58 yards passing in the second half on 16 of 13 passing. Oof. Krosky Merritt, who averaged coming into this game 5 yards a carry, was held to 9 carries on 25 yards. That's less than 3 yards a carry. And as I mentioned early in part of the recap, 89 out of 24 times we have outscored foes since week 6. And we got a top 3 scoring defense. Spags, that squad is eating. In Spags we trust. And last but not least, we are built for this stretch right now. 5-3, 3 in a row, 1 game back at Denver. The running back depth we got now going into this game. Hunt, Smith, now who has an opportunity to catch the ball out of the backfield on 3rd down, now really play that Jerick McKinnon role. Mitchell making his debut. Are we going to get a guy that might be Rojo, or the guy that who's going to give us a glimpse of the guy that we saw in 2021 with the 49ers? And then we got Pennel coming back, which we will talk about later on the next part of this segment. But could Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, or a low-risk, guy like Arden Key, who people mention, could they be in play during the trade deadline? And we got this short week versus Buffalo. That's our playbook and beyond, and the focus on those things, and those are the facts that I feel like will play a big focus in going forward, especially with this game coming up, because I know this is going to be the last game before we decide what we're going to do in the trade deadline. So that's why I mentioned that part with those guys. So anything you got to say on that?
Oh, well, as far as the trade deadline goes, we did see today that the Dolphins, they parted ways with Chris Greer, they GM, so they're gonna have an interim GM now. And people are anticipating a possible fire sale. We don't know. We don't know what the Dolphins' plans are with that. So there is a possibility for that. I just know that the Chiefs, they got to work some things around. They want to get a big name or whatever. But I feel like if there is somebody out there, might be a low key name, but I don't know, man. I know you saw that Colin Saunders. He was a little bit salty that he wasn't brought back as well, even though that's
He
still
wants
option
to
still
come
out there.
home.
Yeah. He wants to come back. He wants to come back as well. And I wouldn't mind him coming back because, we need all the defense line help we can get, honestly. Especially losing Omar or Norman Lott for the season. We can try to make that up somehow. It's not going to be exactly replacing Omar Norman Lott or replacing what he did well for this team. But Pennel and Saunders, they've been here. They know what their roles are. They know what Spags wants out of his defensive line. So, it only makes sense if there was really nobody that's going to be available that can, come in and fit with the Spag system and produce.
Absolutely. So, when I mentioned before about guys like Chubb, this is why, I like what DG mentioned about Phillips, and I've seen it on film. Phillips is exactly the type of player, and if Miami is willing to eat up his contract that he's guaranteed for the rest of the year, I'm all for it. Get Phillips, bro. And he was one of those guys that I was hoping the Chiefs would get originally coming out of Miami, but he stayed in Miami. But now with this opportunity, we don't know. We shall see, man. But here's the thing. I think Chubb would be the guy personally, because here's a guy that fits the criteria. The thing about Phillips is he has long arms. I'm going off of a guy who could for real say he's 6'5", he's 270, he's 6'4", 275, excuse me. Former first round pick, coming back to our division. And I think that would mean a lot to him if he was able to, play with the Chiefs even despite his age, because yes, he's probably going to play on a 1-year deal. And I know fans want a guy to get locked up long term, but I'm okay with that, man. It's basically playing money ball. That's what you're doing. And I feel like this is part of like, as I'm transitioning to this about Mike Pennel, you have to, this is why we let him go in the first place, because I think Brett wanted to test out these young guys like the Broderick Martins, the Zach Pickens, who came out of South Carolina, those guys. And then you got Marlon, who played in the game against the Commanders. I understand that. And then us also brought back Derek Nottie, even though people might not agree with that move, but you're bringing guys who have familiarity with the scheme. And then when you look at a guy like Bradley Chubb and Phillips, they both have that. But I feel like Chubb, for the money and because of his profile and being a former Pro Bowler himself, especially, you want those big star names. And he's also a leader. And I feel like having another guy who, and he's a quiet leader. Like, he would let Crest do his thing, but I think he'll be the guy when he gets going and he's locked in. Everybody around him be like, "Oh yeah, he's really about it now, man." And I feel like he would bring that we haven't had since Frank. It's like bringing back Frank to play with Carl Loftus again, and that's how I personally feel about that. But Jalen Phillips, he could be like Jason Pierre-Paul. So that's my thoughts. But also, here's another thing before we hop on Pennel. What's your thoughts about that Twitter post, I think from a couple of days ago? After we brought him back, Breece Hall from the Jets kind of put out the GIF on his Twitter post. And most of people in Chiefs Kingdom probably got the message. Do you think that has anything to do with the motif we've been using, EGE, or was he just fooling the people as most players would do on X?
Yeah, man, Brees was trolling, man. I mean, I didn't take that GIF for anything, bro. Like, Brees is just trolling. He's just watching everything unfold, man. But I want to address the comments real quick, man. Harold, you said when you leave for the bag, it ain't always nice. Yeah. Um, Mike Pennel, I mean, he didn't really get like a serious bag like that when he left, when he was with Cincinnati. But the thing that's funny about Cincinnati is this: Bengals fans, they was shouting out their GM, saying it was a steal, what I'm saying, after he performed in week one. Because in week one, he had like the best run stopping grade or whatever. But of course, we don't use PFF on here, dog. We already know they're a bunch of clowns. They already been exposed.
Exactly.
But we look at
Major.
the film. When you look at the film, Pennell was doing his thing. But then after that, he wasn't getting much playing time. Then all of a sudden, the same Bengals fan that was praising their GM, talking about, well, we already got enough run stoppers, man. That's why his playing time got reduced. Blah blah blah. I'm like, man, y'all funny. Y'all are funny.
Hey, before it was Mike Pennel, it was Chris Lamons. They thought, hey, we might have somebody who can teach us their secrets. And I'm like, dude,
Right.
get out of here. Like, that's why y'all call it that, because like, oh, y'all got somebody who is stuck in your minds forever, who has to do with the Chiefs. You're like, hey, what's the secret to stopping Patrick Mahomes? I know you practice against him every single time. And I know they like, yo, chill, man, chill. Like, there's certain things that I do, man. And how about this? There's one rule: you don't hit the quarterback. Same thing it would be if it was Joe Burrow. So go on, man. And hey, what's going on with that? What's up with that right now with Joe Burrow? You got Joe Flacco, not Joe Burrow. I mean, you invested all that money in him, but there's still the same problem. No offensive line help, man.
Yeah.
Last year, I think, or it might have been 2 years ago. I need to go look back, but it probably was No, it was 2 years ago. It was when they first got Orlando. And it was the first week of training camp for them. And I already saw how bad the offensive line was already playing like they are right now. He's rolling to his right, and then no non-contact ACL tear. It was like, already. So y'all Cincinnati fans, y'all just keep on, man. And guess what? Watch out. Lamar and them showed y'all last night. They ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, they about to make a run.
And then you got Aaron Rodgers, who's still pissed off after losing to the team that drafted him. So you better watch out for that too. So whatever. So anyway, man. So we talk about how the return of Big Mike Pennel, the vet run stuffer, he just signed back to bolster defensive line post the Norman Lott ACL tear. Um, Seeing how he fits with CJ coming back, Carl Loftus, Amenihu, Tillery, Dana, Gelati, and Derek Nottie, and a NASCAR ready rotation that's top 3 in points allowed. First off, Mike Dana had a game to remember Monday night. Interception on Washington's opening drive, critical third down sack late in the third, filled that stat line sheet. That's the energy Spags loves. Now add Pennel, as you saw first day back already, 24 hours after getting released, to then coming private contact with Veach, already on the plane, ready to just sign and just get to practice. Him and Chris is already back. Like, it felt like old times again, man. It was just I smiled when I saw those guys on the field just having a good time with each other, man. And Pennel, he's back 6'4", 330 pounds, the run plugger extraordinaire. He knows the scheme. He's not here for flash. He's glue. He eats those double teams. He'll, on those occasions where he can help free up Chris to wreak havoc. For example, like that second half dominance against Mariota. So this is how I look at the rotational breakdown. So you add Jones and Pennel out there in the interior, interior chaos. Pennel plugs the lanes. Chris hurts the QBs. Then you will have Carl Loftus and Minihu, the edge heat, the speed, and the power. And then let's say you would have Mike Dana and Tillery out there. The versatile subs, you got Dana, who's hot after his game on Monday Night Football. Tillery steps up, after, what he's been going through this year. He's actually looked good out there, man. And I've seen him make the effort. And his size actually matters, especially when you put him out there. I think you just put him in a great opportunity where he can win a good matchup based off of old matchups with other opponents. I think he'll have great success. And then you got Gelati and Nottie. Def with upside, Gelati's burst, and then you got Nottie's veteran presence. Pennell's role as he's back here, y'all. Base downs, goal line, rotate with Jones, heavy snap count, stop the run. Like, for example, how the Chiefs held Krosky Merritt to 25 yards. That's the same thing we're going to try to do with James Cook coming up here. Now with Pennel back, it's a smart move, cheap depth, no cap hit, IR return possible later if something happens, but it's nothing too serious, which we're not hoping for. What's your thoughts about Big Mike's return, man?
You wanna know what's funny, man? What's that? Country pointed this out, man. Shout out to Country because he was the first one. Because I kind of peeked it too, but he said it first, like after Pennell was brought back. Chris Jones was definitely voicing his frustrations with the defensive line at the moment before Mike was brought back. He just did it in a different way. You know what I'm saying? And like he finally came out and said, we need Mike back in the locker room. That was a big locker room presence that's been missed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it goes like beyond what he does on the football field as far as his role goes. And Brett Veach got to work on that. Brett Veach saw what was going on. He saw that of course, Orman Norman Lai was out for the year, but before that, man, Derek Nottie, man, he's just not cutting it. He's just not cutting on the D line right now. So,
Yeah.
Brett Veach took the initiative and saw that Mike Pennel was granted his release, and he jumped right on it, man. It was like a little less than 24 hours later, he's back in KC. So, Chris, you saw Chris was happy as heck in the press conference yesterday, bumping the new T Swift and all that. Chris, he goofy as heck sometimes, man. But
Yeah.
yeah, dog, get that locker room presence back, and it's on to continue to complete the mission.
Yeah. And that's part of the plan, man. So bottom line, D line is deeper, meaner, fresher. Spags, NASCAR stays lethal. Buffalo's up next. Dana plus Dana as he continues his hot streak. Now with Mike Pennel coming back, that's fire and it equals trouble. So I'm looking forward to that, man. So right. So we're going to the next part of this segment. of our show where I like to talk about my players of the game, and then I'm gonna ask Chuck who he thinks was a big part of the reason why we won Sunday night and how they helped going into this game in 2 days against Buffalo, because this is a big one, man. So it's time to crown my players of the game. First off, on offense, I got to go with the goal line hammer himself, Kareem Hunt. I could have gone with Kelsey, 9 catches, 99 yards, tying Priest Holmes' franchise touchdown record. Rashee Rice, 9 catches, 93 yards, and a touchdown. Jeff Chadia, excuse me what I'm about to say. Shut the fuck up about targets. All right? It doesn't fucking matter who gets the targets, dude. Dang. All these biased opinions and all this other stuff, man. Like, this ain't even journalism, bro. Like, it's like Stephen A. Smith type of journalism, man. Like, my goodness. Like, stop. Stop it. Get some help. Like Michael Jordan said.
He always says some nonsense, man. He always saying some nonsense when it comes to the Chiefs, man. Like, Rashee getting too many targets. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Rashee was one of the best receivers in the league before he got hurt last year. And he started to trend that way this year. As a matter of fact, through 2 games since Rashee got back, he's like second behind Jamar Chase in fantasy points. When you talk about fantasy football for all wide receivers.
For real. I'm like, too many targets. Okay, so a 9 catches, 93 yards. You ain't said that when Aaron Rodgers was targeting Devontae Adams for all those years.
Hilarious.
My gosh, y'all just come up with no reason to hate on the Chiefs, man. I get it. But anyway, yes, over the last 3 games, Rashee Rice, 3 touchdowns in the last 2. But Kareem is my guy. He gets it, like I mentioned earlier about Kareem being the goal line hammer early on. 10 touches, 42 yards total, 2 touchdowns. Just how he was open on that clutch 2-yard touchdown grab on 4th down to open up the second half lead. We never lost ever since that play. And 5 total touchdowns leading the team. The red zone bully I've been hoping for the Chiefs. Even when we played the Bengals, as we mentioned them early on, the first time in that AFC Championship game at Arrowhead, we've been needing that type of guy, a goal line hammer presence, and Kareem is that guy, and I'm happy that he's there. And now he gets a bigger opportunity coming into this game, going against Buffalo as we take on our big AFC foe. So who's your player of the game?
But yeah, just a side note before I give mine out, my first one, Kareem Hunt, he's been just as effective as the Eagles tush push this season.
What up, DJ? Thank you, Mike, for the repost on the stream, brother.
Yeah, shout out to Mike Jones. Mike Jones.
Yes, sir. Who?
Diehard Chiefs, diehard Colts fan. We're gonna address them later on, though. They come up in a few weeks. We're gonna address them. We'll address them when we
they
get
need to
there.
flex that game. We gotta flex that game.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. But as far as my player of the game, I mean, you already said it. I mean, I said earlier in the show, Travis Kelce, he had to make up for selling Patrick Mahomes early in the game. He had to. And he showed up and answered the bell, man. Like, he was vintage Trav. And it's fitting, like, on National Tight Ends Day, too, to cap it off. Even though you mentioned earlier in the show, like, Lamar Jackson, he wanted that to continue last night. But, just the actual holiday, I mean, we already had tight ends perform on prime time even before our game. Tucker Kraft went crazy on Sunday Night Football. Aronde Gaston went crazy on Thursday Night Football. So, I mean, it had to set up for Travis to go off on prime time on Monday night, and he did just that. And then it's crazy that Travis, they just said his top speed was 16 miles an hour or something crazy like that. I said, man, what you doing still moving like this at 36, brother?
I try to tell y'all, man, that it's like Steph Curry. Steph Curry is still going out here shooting buckets every night against these youngsters at 36, and he still plays like he's just coming out of Davidson, man. It's just wild. And yeah, I like that pick there, man, because Kelce, I was just excited to see that. And I'm like, if he just keeps that up and plays that way, but they don't have to put too much emphasis on that because you got him, you got Rice, Worthy, Hollywood. And there's another thing too, man. We got to address it too, man. Would you trade Tyquan Thornton?
All right, so here's my thing, man. I was quiet on this for a minute, but I was talking about a different wide receiver. But the thing is, I was like, Rasheed finally just got in the fold. He's finally gonna play with Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown. So like, I was thinking, you know, if we're looking for a defense end, I mean, maybe toss Hollywood out there and see what we can get for him. But I was like, Hollywood just now getting on the field with these guys, with everybody together. And they need some time together, you know what I'm saying? To form that chemistry a little bit. But Taekwon, man, I feel like when his number's gonna get called, he'll be ready. I think we should keep him for next season and beyond, honestly, because I think one of these receivers will definitely won't be here, and I think Hollywood probably going somewhere else after this season. I mean, that's just my opinion. Because to me, I think Taekwon brings a bigger upside in his offense. Um, take top off the defense. You see, he made all kinds of big catches. All kinds of big plays this season. So I mean, with him right now, it's just gonna be matchup dependent. So I think right now we should just continue to hold on to Taekwon, and
Yeah,
because we're gonna need him, like in a few
yeah.
of these games still. So that's just my opinion on it.
I'm there with you too, brother. Because here's the thing too. I gotta say no to trading both Hollywood and Taekwon because one, I gotta shout out to our guy Nate Taylor, man. I wish I had the chance also to have a face to face moment with him, hopefully someday. But he did mention this on his show right after we lost the Super Bowl to the Eagles. He said Hollywood is coming back because him and Worthy in the locker room after that game were talking like, nah, we coming back here. We're gonna keep building what we worked on from last season, especially with Rasheed coming back, and here we are now. And that's part of that. You don't want to get rid of that chemistry. And Taekwon is what we wish MVS was, man. And I just wouldn't do that. And yeah, just because somebody said like, oh, Taekwon didn't get a catch or play that many snaps in the game, well, Hollywood didn't get a catch either. So that's how
Yeah.
it's the same aspect when it comes to gambling. When you expect a certain guy supposed to be hitting on his thing, he's not going to hit almost every night. That's part of the risk that you take, man. And that's the whole point because sometimes you're not going to do that. That's why you got to have a mindset as a player. Like, I don't care if I even have zero. Shout out to my guy, Anthony Ianni, who's the first man with autism to play basketball at Division One at Michigan State.
Salute.
Salute to you, sir. He's I believe, an elementary school teacher. He said this before. It doesn't matter if you score 0 points in the game, as long as you're doing your job and it helps contribute to your team winning. That's what matters. And that's the same mindset that not just the Chiefs, but almost every athlete who wants to win the championship has to have. Not know him stuff like what Marlon then was doing. And if you guys have seen that movie, I'm not gonna put no spoilers out there. But anyway, we move on to my defensive player of the game, Mike Dana, who I call the stat sheet monster for Monday night. He filled the stat sheet, the interception on the Commanders' opening drive, where Mariota tried to throw that ball to Debo, bounce out of his hands into the hands of Mike Dana. And oh boy, me and my mom was screaming on Monday night in excitement when we saw that play. And then the crucial third down sack late in the third quarter that set the tone for their defense for the rest of the way. My honorable mentions, I would give it up for Carl Loftus, team high 9 pressures. As our boy Boogie would say, pressure nation. But he did get a sack, which gives his total to 4.5. 29 sacks since 2022 when he first started. That's 11th in the NFL. So if he, let's say, was able to get like 2 more, he'd probably be like in the top 10 since. So Carl Loftus is getting his money's worth. And then Trent McDuffie, he locked it down, 1 catch allowed on 2 targets and 31 snaps. He was part of the reason why the Chiefs held Mariota to, just 58 yards in the second half. And also Krosky Merritt to, 9 carries and 25 yards and, 7 points in 8 drives. That's Spags' masterpiece right there. Mwah! These picks filled that 5-3 heater. So who was your defensive player of the game?
Oh man, so I probably would have said Dana myself, but even though it was like easy access for most of these players. Hey, look, listen, you gotta finish the play regardless. But I'm just gonna say a little side note with George Karlaftis. Man, George should be having more sacks than what he have right now. But
Yeah.
last season he was the second half guy. But I mean, maybe he'll start finishing more as we get to the second half. Because, like as we've seen throughout the course of the year, there's been a couple of times where George Karlaftis be right there and he's not finishing. Like George, you gotta finish. You gotta do a better job of finishing. Because you should be having more sacks than what you got right now. That's just my little critique right there. So yeah, but just to your point about him with pressures, I mean, he definitely was one of the key contributors still. And but Trent McDuffie too, man. Look, this was funny because like Trent McDuffie played a good game. And
Yeah.
Terry got him one time on a big play. And it's like, look, Terry, I mean, Trent was still there. Like, it was still good coverage. Like, sometimes you
Great
just lose.
coverage.
You just lose sometimes, man. Terry made a good play. Like,
Hold on.
give him his props.
Let me ask you this. And was it that play where originally he was out of bounds, but they ruled it a catch?
I thought it was on the other sideline when that play happened, but you might be right.
Yeah,
Actually, what that
because
play did get reviewed. That play did get reviewed. So yeah, you're right. It did get
yeah,
reviewed.
and McDuffie was on the coverage. And here's the other thing. Since when have we gone to this thing? And I understand if all that stuff was happening for Terry McLaurin and they gave him those calls, then they should have gave Calvin Johnson that touchdown catch against Chicago, against the Bears, which they said incomplete, and that should have been a catch for Dez Bryant in that playoff game against the Packers. Wow. It's like they're not hiding it no more. Like they're picking and choosing who they want to win, and I've been knowing this and seeing some of this from the inside. They've been doing this subtly, but now all of a sudden they're just blatant. Especially, I feel like it's just these refs, man. And ever since that NBA documentary about that referee came out, talking about how they were really targeting Iverson the most, that was the most eye-opening one to me, where it was like, not just about you taking these bets, it was like, y'all really targeted Allen Iverson. Like, dang, you hated our dude, man. It was it's just wild. And hold on, I'm just seeing one of these comments, like,
yeah, shout out to 1904 Life, man. He's a Charger fan. Salute to him.
Yeah. How you doing, good sir? You think once Rashid and Mahomes flow kicks?
Travis want to win, man. Travis want to win, dog. I don't think he really care about that at this point in his career.
It's called passion, man. It's called passion,
right?
Like, come on, man. You got guys like Darwin James, who's your most passionate player, and I like Darwin James. And that right, when I look at Jayden Hicks, he's our Darwin James. Me showing that respect in that regard, like, yeah, that's the guy we watch out for every time we play you guys, man. Everybody has that one passionate player, man. It's always about putting the team together. Like, you guys, just like years ago, I wanted Marcus Peters over Leo Collins, that 2015 draft. Originally, it was Leo Collins, but when I was reading Marcus's profile and him getting kicked out of Washington's football team, right, I was like, this is the guy that we need, even though some people don't like it. Look at what the Seahawks did when they got all those guys with Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, and all those guys. They took a chance on those guys and look what they produced. They arguably should be known as the greatest defense of all time. Thanks a lot, Russell Wilson. But I know it's passion, but the other young wide receiver might see it as why we hating on this. Hey, man, you take it as it is. It's like the law of the jungle, man, especially as an NFL fan, or, especially if your team is winning. It's part of what happens, man. Whether that young wide receiver or quarterback, like, people got at Mahomes when he threw that tantrum with that lateral play. If Kadarius Toney's foot wasn't on the line. And also, I believe what really set him off after that was when Von Miller, I think, should have been offside, but they didn't call it. And Mahomes, that's what he was really tripping about too. Like, it's a mixture of all those things and those emotions because you're passionate about winning the game, man. That's just that's what it comes down to. But anyway, we move on. And this is the final segment of the show on this Halloween Friday because, I don't want to, keep y'all too long, man. The 3 keys to victory for this Sunday afternoon matchup against the Buffalo Bills. It will be a compelling one. It's compelling on paper. And like the type of one where they would make it into a pay-per-view WWE like promo, because this could be one of the most exciting games of the 2025 season, not just a week 9 coming up here. Well, week 9 has already started because of the game yesterday, but this could be one of the best games of the week anyway. So 3 keys to victory here as the Chiefs roll into this AFC Championship rematch. 5-3 Chiefs at the 5-2 Bills. It will be 3:25 Central Standard Time or 4:25 Eastern Standard Time for all those out there on the East Coast on CBS. This is Mahomes versus Josh Allen, Part 9. Bills own the last 4 regular season wins, but the Chiefs took the last 4 playoff battles, including the AFC title game last year. We're the defending AFC champions. The Bills dropped us in the regular season 30-21 in Buffalo. Both squads top 5 offenses. The Bills are 3rd overall, averaging about 383 yards a game. The Chiefs are 5th overall with averaging 378 yards a game. The defenses are elite in the air. Bills are actually the number 1 pass defense in the AFC. The Chiefs are 2nd behind Buffalo in the AFC. That speaks volumes, even though we're top 3 scoring defense. High stakes, high heat. But here's my 3 keys to victory to get to 6-3 and to flip the script. So let's ride, bro. Key number 1, make Josh Allen impatient. Throw him off his game. He is the reigning MVP, 70 career rushing touchdowns. He's got 5 this year. He's on pace for 6 in 8 straight seasons. Only Cam Newton has done that. There's no good way to stop him but force him to be patient, throw him off his game, spy him, whether it's going to be Nick Bolton, who has 6+ tackles in 7 of his last 8 games. Every career matchup against Buffalo, that's what he does. He's averaged about 6 or 7 tackles. He plays a big pivotal role. He knows about Josh Allen. There's Drew Tranquil, Shamari Connor. Both had, I believe, in combination of the stats, as I see here in my notes here, 9 total tackles and a forced fumble, but also Connor has a pick against Josh Allen in both regular season games against Buffalo. If you contain his legs, especially limit the explosiveness, make him dink and dunk. So what do you think about anything else about Josh Allen, and what do you think we should do?
Yeah, Drew Tranquil and Connor, they definitely got to step it up, man, because they had some bad moments last game. It didn't affect us, thank God, but they really got to step it up. They really got to lock in this week, man. You can't be making blown assignments or coverage errors like that. But from your standpoint about Josh Allen, we definitely got to make him play from the pocket. Keep him contained. Don't let him get out. Don't let him roll out. Try to make plays with his legs. Force him to be patient from the pocket. Force him to throw from the pocket. I feel like that's our best shot right there. And a side note, man, I'm sorry, but I said this last night. Okay, in the cast, I said it last night. The NFL, they are ridiculous trying to sprinkle Josh Allen like parsley in his MVP race. I'm sorry, like he not even. I don't think he a top 5 candidate to me, and I'm not slandering the guy because to me,
Right.
James Cook been the main reason on offense why the Bills been winning games. So
I wanted James Cook, bro. I'm not gonna. I wanted James Cook. That was one of my guys. So yeah, I'm with you there with forcing that patience, because forcing the patience will lead to the impatience, because that's not who he is. Like I'm gonna just say it like this. You're right, because that Falcons game, that is the example of why we don't believe he's even a top 5 MVP. Not this year. He's the reigning MVP. He's gotten better, but he's just not, because he's reverting back to the same guy that he was before, especially just eager to try to win and everything. But last minute, you decide to run the ball, which you could have done throughout the entire game, especially when your defense puts you in a great position to win the game, especially when they blocked the Falcons' field goal and you flat out lose that game on Monday Night Football. When I saw that, I said, "Oh, the Chiefs guys." And then the slow start against the Panthers last week. I was like, "Yeah, the
Yeah,
Chiefs."
Josh didn't even play well that game. That was James Cook. That was James
James
Cook all
Cook
day.
all day. Oh man, that was him all day. But yeah, this leads to key number 2 on that. Score points to slow down that run game of theirs. So their running game is elite. You know, James Cook, 753 yards rushing, second in the NFL, 7 TDs, fourth in the league, 216 yards plus 2 tutties last week against the Panthers, 134 yards from scrimmage and 2 touchdowns in the AFC Championship game. So yeah, best way to stop it, score early and often. You drain that clock, keep them on the field as much as you can. You know, whether, the score is like 28-10 or 13-10, force passes, burn the clock, force those turnovers on them. Do not risk the turnovers on our side. Complementary football. Mahomes, Hunt, pile up those points. Pile them up, man. Yo.
Look who just popped up.
Hey, what's going on, country?
What's cracking? What's cracking?
What's happening, bro?
Man, P-Mac said I never got time for a show, so I decided I had a couple minutes. I just got off work, so just decided to slide in, like baggage claim.
I appreciate it, brother. Oh man, hey, it's all good, man. But yeah,
What's cracking with y'all?
Nothing much, man. We're in the final segment of the show. We're just doing our 3 keys to victory, as I mentioned. So I'll break it down to you on that first key. As we mentioned, you make Josh Allen patient, so he becomes impatient. Which, as you know, reigning MVP, 70 career rushing touchdowns, 5 this year. He's on pace to have 6 in 8 straight seasons. Only Cam Newton has done that. A good way to stop him is to force that patience that leads to the impatience, because you saw that game against the Atlanta Falcons on Monday Night Football and his early start against the Panthers. You saw a way how you could stop him early and how to not keep your foot off the gas. I mentioned Nick Bolton. He's had 6+ tackles in 7 of the last 8 games, especially in every game against Buffalo in his career. And you have Drew Tranquil, who plays a big key role into this game. And then you're going to have Shamari Connor, who's had 2 interceptions. So, contain his legs, limit his explosiveness, make him dink and dunk. You got anything you want to add on to that for that first key?
We talked last night about I talked about a lot about the weak link on the defense, or whoever that perceived to be the weak link. Like, no disrespect to anybody, but last game we played, he attacked Najee Johnson a lot. He attacked Shamari Connor a lot. Those guys, well, Najee's not going to be there, but Shamari Connor, you got to be ready, because he's going to find whoever's going to be the weak link that day. That's who he's going to find, and you just going to have to make a play. Now, Shamari has got a couple of interceptions on him, so he's made some plays, but he's one of those, when we play great quarterbacks, they find any weakness and then they're going to exploit it. So everybody got to step their game up. You got to play your A game. This is Josh Allen, bro. No matter how bad their defense is, no matter what weapons they do have or don't have, it's still Josh Allen, bro. We got to respect them as such. They are banged up, though. I will. They got a lot of injuries. They have 3 more people out today. They have no defensive tackles. Who did we play that didn't? Was that Baltimore?
Yeah.
Didn't they lose like 4 tackles? Yeah. So they lost a lot of tackles. So one of my first keys to the game is going to be Kareem Hunt. I asked Shamari Connor on that as a key to the game. I think Leo Chenal is going to be a big part of this game, because he's going to have to spy Josh Allen. George Kalafdis. It looked like George starting to get his heat. Like he gets his heat on later on in the season. I think George starting to get because he really should have had like 2 sacks last week against Mariota. Mariota is very dynamic. I mean, Mariota still can move, which is funny because he played his best game against us last week. So Leo's going to be a big factor. Nick Bolton is on that list because James Cook is James Cook. He's not the best. I asked this question today in the group chat. I don't even know if you answered, PMAC. Who's the best running back we faced this season? In your opinion, personal opinion.
Oh man, I got it, man.
We
To be
faced
honest,
Saquon. We
yeah, like
faced Derrick Henry,
Derrick
Gibbs,
Henry,
Montgomery.
yeah.
We faced some great running backs, and we got some good ones coming up. But who's your who you think is the best running back that we got?
Oh man, it was hard for me to answer, bro. That's why I think I didn't answer. And I was also dealing with some personal stuff.
The
But
funny thing, what's up, y'all? What's up, Mo? Funny thing is, the best running back is probably Jonathan Taylor, and we ain't got to him yet. But we're gonna get it. We're gonna see him too. So
I think 2 of them is Taylor and Cook, man. And as I mentioned, this leads to my other key to the game as well. As you mentioned, like, yes, those guys, I never thought about Leo playing a big role into this game. I just felt like those guys, Drew and Nick, because of that experience with Josh Allen, especially with Nick being, in my opinion, more of a, run stopping linebacker than a coverage guy. That's why you got Tranquil. And then Leo Chenal, he stepped his game up as a coverage guy. So, yeah, I never thought about that for a while. But yeah. So, yeah, this is part of key number 2, as I was mentioned before you jumped on. We got to score points to slow down that run game so they won't get on the field and try to run all over us. That run game is elite, James Cook. And this is why I think him and Jonathan Taylor, who we're going to see in the future, might be the 2 best running backs we might have faced this year. We've been dominating against those other guys like Saquon. We dominated against him twice, the Super Bowl in week 2. But Cook, 753 yards rushing, second most in the NFL. His 7 touchdowns are 4th in the league. He had 216 yards total, 2 tutties last week against the Panthers, 134 yards from scrimmage and 2 touchdowns in the AFC Championship game against us. I know you remember him in that game against us, but the best way to stop it is, to score early and often, whether we're up 28-10 or we're up 13-10, force those passes, burn the clock, risk those turnovers, play complementary football. Mahomes, Kareem Hunt's going to play a big role in, throw in Brashard Smith and also Mitchell making his debut against Buffalo with Pacheco sideline. Rashee Rice, piling up points. Travis Kelce getting involved. The defense, predicts the, run and abandonment. The offense shapes the defense, trap Buffalo in catch-up mode. I feel like we got them. So what you think on that part,
Man, I'm throwing all that out the window. I just want to beat Buffalo. I want to make them one-dimensional. Yeah. So if you score a field goal, I'm scoring a touchdown.
Go for it all, yeah.
Yeah, I might go for it on 4 downs. It might be 4 down territory all night. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm being extra aggressive, not but safe, but aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna do nothing stupid, but I want to be aggressive all night, and I want to force you to think. I want to force Josh Allen to feel like I gotta score. I feel like if you put him in that situation, he's liable to make a mistake. He's made mistakes before, you know what I'm saying? Like, or he just ain't got Buffalo just ain't the team they used to be. You know what I'm saying? Like they was even last year. They're not the same squad. It just don't look the same. So, but like I said, he's still Josh Allen though. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not settling for no field goals. I'm being extra aggressive. I'm being careful, but I'm pushing. It's some 4 down territories. I'm going for it. If it's 4th and 1, I'm handing off the ball to Kareem and try to stop it. Try to stop it because Ed Oliver ain't gonna stop it because he ain't playing.
Nor
You know what
Daquan
I'm saying?
Jones.
So I'm being aggressive and taking the game to them. Usually we play this vanilla type game, and it's very simple game plan. It's nothing too fancy. We don't want to show them too much. Forget all that. I'm trying to beat Buffalo for the first time. Like I just want to beat Buffalo. Plus, if it works out and we beat Buffalo, this will be the last time we go to Buffalo.
Yeah.
So let's shut
Yeah,
that
during the season
stadium out
anyway.
with a great memory of winning. This is our
Yes.
last time playing there. All right, let's win. And that's the type of thing you tell Patrick, and he gonna stand up on it. Like, hey Pat, you know this is the last time we're gonna be in Highmark Stadium. Oh, really? All right, let me get a W while I'm out here. You know what I'm saying? So
Let me take something with me. Let me take a
yeah,
souvenir.
you know, I'm leaving with something.
Exactly. I'm going home with
like
something.
Denzel Washington, man. It just no, for real, bro. I really want to beat Buffalo. I feel like if we wouldn't have lost to Jacksonville, I think it's different. If you 6-2 going to this, I think I can play vanilla. And if I win, I win. If I don't, you know what I'm saying? It's cool. We'll see them in the playoffs. But being with 3 losses already, Pat said 2 weeks ago, we've already lost too many games. You know what I'm saying? So and everybody bringing up the Colts. Colts are still 7-1. Denver only got 2 losses. So to maintain, you can't lose this game, bro. So this is a must-win game, and I'm treating it as such. I'm treating it like it's a playoff preview.
Heck yeah, I
That
love it. I
yeah,
love
I'm gonna
it.
have to run.
Yeah.
And Pat been playing like playoff Pat. Like I'm really curious to see how Pat Mahomes looks in the playoffs this year because normally in the regular season he's not a runner. He ain't gonna do all that. He's not gonna be completely reckless and abandon all that. But he's been running the ball. That's what he does in the playoffs. He's been playing like playoff Pat in the regular season.
Yeah.
Have y'all noticed that?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a difference. And he on his MVP swag too. I think he's trying to get that third MVP, but he's playing like playoff Pat these days. And with the offense that we have, Hollywood is gonna play. It looked like Hollywood's gonna play, look like Trey Smith gonna play. Man, hey, first 1 to 30 wins.
Oh, absolutely. And it's gonna be us this time. No 30 to 21. Damn, is look, hey. So anyway, with that right there, and I love that passion as you speak on that. We gotta treat it as it's a playoff game, man. Absolutely. And then I believe we go on to bye after that, right?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
hey, this is why this game is very crucial. So I'm with you there, man. Absolutely. But yeah, that's the point behind that. And it's like why I was saying score those points, but don't try to just set up for those field goals. Go for it all, especially dominating the red zone. Which
We
leads
got
me
Denver
to
next week.
Yeah, after the bye, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so we play Buffalo, then we got a bye, or do we got what's the
Buffalo, then the
schedule?
bye, then Denver.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, where do the Colts come in at that? Because they I thought that was after the bye, but never mind.
Yeah, they after Denver.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we gotta man. These next 3 games, next 4 actually, because I'm gonna put the Cowboys in there too. These next 4 games is man, it's gonna be the difference between a 1 seed or 2 seed or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna affect the seeding of the playoffs for us. If you lose this game, man, you might pack up that 1 seed. It might be over. Anything can happen, but man, leave the ball in your hands, bro. Keep the ball in your hands. If you win this game, the ball's still in your hands. You still control your own destiny. Because you got the Colts in front of you, you got Denver in front of you, you got the Chargers again. Your destiny is in front of you. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to be fighting and wondering, well, dang, since we lost, now we got to make sure they lose. We need somebody. We not the Bengals, bro. I'm not going to be sitting on Twitter saying, damn, y'all should have lost so we could have got the ones. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be that guy. Like, man, we should have. Nah, you should have won the game that you were supposed to win. You know what I'm saying? You
You
were
lost
supposed
to
to
the
win.
Jets.
You can't be sitting there complaining about, oh, y'all didn't win for us, so we could have y'all rested y'all starters. Like, man, what? Are you serious? So win the games in front of you, man. All these games are important, bro. And they know that. They know that. You know, Pat know that. They've been on a whole nother level with this offense. So the one thing that I think separates us from everybody, man, is like a lot of these teams ain't playing no defense, bro. I don't know what's going on in the NFL. It's only like 3 teams that play defense, like us, the Packers, and man, you can't even say the Steelers is playing defense because
You
the
got the
Packers,
Patriots, you got the
Patriots,
Broncos.
yeah, because
Yeah.
Vrabel was one of those coaches,
The
so
Seahawks
they
are playing
playing
good
defense.
defense too.
Who?
Yeah, Seahawks. They're playing good
Seahawks.
defense too.
Seahawks, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I said. Like 3 teams, but there ain't no 10 teams playing defense. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I ain't gonna that. Nah,
Man, Baltimore not playing no defense this year. Pittsburgh not. Buffalo not playing no defense. Like, man, these defenses is not looking good.
Yeah.
Miami damn sure ain't playing no defense. Neither is Oakland. I mean Las Vegas. So
Yeah,
I
that's
think
real.
if the defense show up, man, it's gonna be a long day for Buffalo. But you know this game, we didn't win this game. This is the first time, I think CDOT said this, first time that we went to a Buffalo game clearly being the better team than Buffalo. Like, Mahomes is better than Allen, but then the rest from 2 to 53, I don't think we was better than a lot of those Buffalo teams that we faced. You know what I'm saying? Like last year, I don't think we was better than Buffalo last year as a better team. But this year,
At
you
the
walk in there
time,
with Rasheed Rice, you walk in there with
Worthy.
Worthy, Hollywood, walking in with a healthy Kareem Hunt that's just not coming off the couch and kind of overdid itself. You know what I'm saying? You walk in there with a better offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all miss Joe Tooney? Let's be honest.
Nah.
Nah.
And I told people, I said, look, I think we got out of Joe Tooney
Man,
just in
say
time.
you told Boogie, man. Don't be trying to be politically correct. Say you told Boogie.
I'm cool on the Joe Tooney thing, man. Sue Mataia, he ain't looking back. Just keep playing your game, bro. And
Respect to Joe Tooney though. I'm not dissing Joe Tooney,
respect.
Exactly.
but I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
miss
It's
him.
yeah.
all respect, bro.
It's business.
But
Yeah.
it was time to move on. It was time.
Yep.
Absolutely.
He's still balling out in Chicago though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but
Yeah.
man, I think we're a better team than we was last year.
Absolutely.
Way better
Absolutely.
team.
So yeah, like as you was mentioning, how defense plays a key role into this game as well, country. That leads me to the final key towards this victory to go in 6-3 against Buffalo. Limit and create yards. Limit those yards. Stop them because they will make you miss tackles, and we got to tackle. And we have had a history of seeing missed tackles from us. Buffalo breaks tackles. So basically, key number 3, shut them down. Do not miss no tackles. Wrap up. Don't lead with your head. Not no Ron Parker leading with your shoulder pad stuff. Wrap up just like the fundamental way they taught us when we played football growing up, because they break tackles. Allen's a freight train. Cook is one of the best, if not the best, running back in the league. We got to win with discipline, and it starts with the line at the line of scrimmage. It starts with Chris Jones. 5th straight year with 5 tackles for loss already. He's the anchor. You got George Karlaftis after coming off of that second Monday Night Football, leading the team with 4.5 sacks. He has 29 career sacks going into this game. And, he's aiming for his 6th straight game with at least half a sack. Then you got Mike Dana, who's coming off of having that sack and that pick off of the opening drive of the Commanders last week. And he had a sack and a forced fumble in that AFC Championship game, too, against Buffalo. He plays a key role into this, too. And last but not least, big Mike Pennel. He's back. The run stuff and vet, clogging those lanes. No free yards after contact. Wrap up. Force those fumbles. Flip the field. Got anything to add on to that?
Yeah, definitely tackle. If you make a gamble, you better be right. Better be right on it because they will burn you. Um,
Absolutely.
I kind of want to force, like I said, like we talked about on Kingdom Cast last night. Every time that we got burnt, like Gabe Davis burnt us for like 200 yards, is because they found a weakness in the defense and they exploited it. We gotta be able to make the necessary adjustments, and then everybody, you gonna have to step your game up, bro. You can't just let them convert every third down by looking at you. Where's such where's 27? All right, first down. You can't we can't live like that. And Connor's playing way better than that recently. He's been playing a lot better than that. I hope Noah Williams gets a lot of burn this week
Ooh, yes.
as the third cornerback. So yeah, so you want to attack the slot? Go ahead and throw that Trent McDuffie all night. We'll see how that works out for you.
Yeah.
I,
And I hope
I don't know if he's gonna intercept the ball. He might just knock it down. Trent can catch the ball when he. Well, I don't know. Trent ain't. Trent is like allergic to interceptions, but like put him in the slot. You want to, man. Don't let anybody get off on us. Like secure. He has a good game against us. Stephon Diggs never did nothing against us, bro. Like for real. I can't remember a great game that Stephon Diggs had against us.
never.
I tell you what, my boy from Florida State, my boy Keon
Yes.
Coleman, man, y'all been pissing him off, so he might be ready to have a breakout game on us. But
Keon Coleman, the same Keon Coleman they bragging about, who we said forget him, we want to get Xavier Worthy. The same Keon Coleman where, nah, I got nothing against Keon Coleman, man. I mean, hey, everybody does their thing. Everybody said the same thing about Quentin Johnston, but you know he's doing his thing with the Chargers. So you know,
well, hey, what's
all about
that Charger? What's the name of that Charger wide receiver that had never done nothing, but all of a sudden he had a good day against us in Brazil?
That was him, Johnston.
That was Quentin
Yeah,
Johnson.
Quentin Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went right back to being nothing right after that game too.
All right, now.
He had a little hot streak after that, but recently he hasn't done much.
Yeah, it's
Last 2
dead
games.
now.
It
I
It
mean,
is what
last
it
time
is.
we played in Buffalo, we beat them though, right? We
um,
seem to be better in Buffalo than playing at home.
well, yeah. I mean, the playoffs, yeah, we beat Buffalo, but like as far as regular season goes, like we mentioned it last night, we had to think about it for a sec. But the
The
last time
Alex
we
Smith
beat,
game.
it wasn't the Alex Smith game. It was
No.
during COVID when CEH went off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but that's the point though. I said we playing better in Buffalo than we playing at Arrowhead, which is
They came to
crazy.
Arrowhead and beat us.
They probably beat us more in Arrowhead than we beat. We
We just got to
okay,
win
so
in the
we
regular
won in
season.
Buffalo in COVID, and then we won in 2015 with Alex Smith, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the rest
2015.
of the game's been at Arrowhead. I'm talking only regular season. I ain't talking about the playoffs.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
So they beat us more at home in the regular season, and we beat them anywhere in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got to stop that trend, man. I mean, that's very important to me because the last one, as I mentioned, Mahomes blow up against Buffalo at home when Kadarius' foot was on the line
Oh
after that
god,
lateral, man. Oh man, yeah.
So what's the deal with the running back? I'm a little out of the loop. Who's going to be playing running back? Kareem, Bashard. Are they pulling up Elijah Mitchell? Are they activating?
I think he's
Yeah.
going. He's already on the 53-man roster. He's always just been a healthy scratch. So now I think
Right.
he's just gonna make
That's what I'm
his
saying.
debut.
Are they going to play him? Actually, I'm not
Um,
giving
that's
a gang of snaps. Give him 4 or 5 snaps. You know what I'm saying? Like,
8 snaps. I see 8 snaps because
yeah,
you got
I mean,
Smith part of
we'll
the game
see.
plan on
can
third
he
down.
pass block? Well, we
I
got to buy.
mean,
Hey, I hate to say this. I'm sorry, Kareem, but we might run you in the ground this week, bro. We might run you in the ground, dog. We got to buy
the
next
bye
week.
week
You'll be
is
fine.
coming up. The bye
Yeah,
week is
you'll be
coming up.
fine. We're just gonna run you in the ground for this one, bro.
27 carries, 100 yards rushing.
Man, if he busts 100, that'd be crazy.
He did it
But
on Monday night last year against Tampa Bay or the Saints.
But Kareem is one of those volume running backs anyway, though. I know he's not the same guy, but the more carries you give him, the more he get. You know what I'm saying? Like the more he start breaking longer runs, the more carries you give.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say that I'm gonna say my keys. You mentioned James Cook earlier, P Mac. Yeah, like Big Mike coming back this week. Leo Chanel, I'm sure he'll have a big involvement too. We mentioned Chamari. Chamari, he has a lot of tackles on his team, so I'm sure he's gonna be a factor along with Nick Bolton.
Right.
Because Buffalo gonna come with single back like how we do at times. They're gonna use two tight ends, and then they're gonna use heavier sets sometimes with all three of their tight ends, and then they sometimes gonna run I for him too. Besides them, spreading us out the passing game, going 4 or 5 wide or whatever. So they definitely gonna try to bring out as many blockers as possible when they do run the football. So it's up to us to like get off those blocks, fill in the gaps. Maybe just prevent James Cook from getting to the outside and having one-on-one. So and so
Exactly.
like you mentioned, it is important that we're gonna have to tackle this week.
Wrap
And
up, bro.
and for my last point, man, the last thing, which leads into you guys bringing up Kareem Hunt. Yeah, we definitely need to run the ball, so we can open up the pass, man. Because listen, Buffalo safeties are bad. They really bad. And I feel like if we run the ball effective early on, it can open up some play action. We can hit them over the top. And that's where we mentioned Tyquan Thornton earlier in the show. That's where Tyquan may have a role in this game to maybe hit him over the top. Along with Xavier Worthy possibly hitting him over the top. Because like Country mentioned this too. Juju, he loves playing Buffalo. I don't know what it is, but he figures them out pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have him and Travis underneath. I mean, along with Rasheed Rice as well. Short, intermediate, or whatever. But if we run the ball effective early on, we're gonna get any big play that we want throughout the course of the game.
Yeah.
So,
And throw in Xavier Worthy running on a few occasions too. And Mahomes
mhm.
using his legs as well. That's also going to play a big role into running that ball too. Plus, you got to eat up that clock and keep them on the sideline as much. That's part of that strategy into scoring those points, not just settling for field goals, but Bucker, make every field goal and kick the ball. Make sure it doesn't go out of bounds so we get a penalty where it gets to their 40-yard line. Just play complimentary football, fellas. And anything else before we close out, guys? Because I'm also going to do the sponsorship too.
Yeah, and
Um,
side note, real quick, side note, Jawan Taylor, once again, no penalties. The streak continues.
Yes,
He
sir.
looking like a borderline all pro, man. Shout out to Jawan, man. He's answered the bell.
hey, keep playing like this, Jawan. You might be here next year. That ought to piss some people off. But this
For
okay.
real.
So this is what I was thinking. Say Kansas City goes out and puts up 35. Let's say 35-21 or something. In the NFL, that's a good quality win. What's the headlines the next day?
I guess
They're
I'll go, man.
back. They're back.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was thinking something like that. They're
Same
back,
old Chiefs.
right? Per usual. I don't know.
Unstoppable. I don't know, man. I just something about this game. I'm a little extra confident about a Buffalo game because most times it's whoever got the ball last. But I mean, the hits that they took on defense and then the injury report today really kind of solidified it. Like we should be able to move the ball at will. You feel me? Especially with Rasheed Rice that we didn't have last year. And then at X in his second year, we should be able to move the ball freely. So I just see us. I don't see them getting the 30 on us, man. You know what I'm saying? So
No.
let's see how it work out, man. But if we doing long 17-yard plays, 17 play drives, 80-yard drives, break their spirit, man. Let's see how it works. because we've done it before. Like we beat the Bills we beat the Bills a couple times. Like we got them. So I don't know. I just put the whole league on notice, man, that we coming and make those other teams because Denver gonna talk their stuff. Denver talking a little bit. Indianapolis is talking, which is kind of crazy. I don't know why y'all talking. Um, who else we got on the schedule? We
You
still
know
got
why they
Houston though.
talking,
We
bro.
play
You know
Houston this
why.
year.
You
We
said who
still
play
play
you?
Houston this year.
Yeah, we still play now.
Okay, so
But you know why the
y'all
coach
talked
is
about the
talking.
trade deadline. Y'all talked about the trade deadline already.
Yeah, we went over that. We talked about the possibility of like if we could try to get Chubb or we could try to get Jalen Phillips from Miami. Also, a sleeper one. We mentioned Arden Key, which I don't know if Chiefs fans would
I've
want
been
him.
Man, I've been saying Arden Key for weeks. I'm telling y'all, I don't want Arden Key, but it makes sense. It's we're not gonna get no. It's not gonna be no splash guy, bro. I really want Jermaine Johnson because I
I
didn't
want
know
him
he only
too,
had
man.
1.2 million left on his contract, bro. I can do that. I can pay him. Nah, I can pay him out of my own, but Jermaine Johnson would be a dream, man. But I'm still hoping they get Colin Saunders and Jalen Phillips or Jermaine Johnson would be amazing. That would be fun. So, all right, man. I'll let y'all take us out, man. I just stopped by, man, because you said I wasn't showing you no love. So, man, I had to
Oh,
come through.
I ain't said that, man. But I understand you
He
got to
said
work and do your
he didn't feel
thing.
like he was official because I had never been on the show yet. You know what I'm saying? So,
Ah, but
you know,
anyway,
I got a
but thank
stamp for
you.
everybody. I ain't never been on Tell the Truth, man. They don't really rock with me, man. Them dudes. I ain't smart enough to be on Tell the Truth.
Uh-oh.
Yo, that's
Oh,
crazy.
I can't
dang.
break it down. I can't break down defenses.
Crazy.
All right, now hold on. Watch out. D-Mac watching too. But he be like, hey, watch it now. But anyway, though, but thank you, Country, and thank you, Chuck, though. But as we close it out here, guys, Kingdom, that's the wrap on episode 5 from the 28-7 belt to ass Monday night football stomping to Big Mike's return. And those 3 keys to victory to bury Buffalo, and we're locked and loaded for 6-3. But before we ghost, it's time for our sponsor shout out, Underdog Fantasy, in their epic Boostober promo. This is the last day, as you guys know, Halloween, October 31st. Get boost up to 30% on picks. NFL. You want to put in your last NFL picks. The World Series is going on right now. The Blue Jays going against the Dodgers right now. The Blue Jays up 3-2, 1 win away from their first title since 1993. Will LA force Game 7, or will Toronto seal it at Rogers Stadium? You got good chance to try to put in that Ohtani or Vlad home run prop. I don't know if they hit while we're doing this show right now. So just head to Underdog Fantasy or the app. Use the code KingdomCast for a deposit match. You get some extra boost on your picks. You boost, as I mentioned, the Dodgers game. Boost Ohtani, boost up Guerrero, especially for the Blue Jays. You believe they're going to get that dub tonight. The NBA Cup has tipped off tonight. There's the Lakers, who play against the Grizzlies in the next 7 minutes from now. Then there's the Jazz and the Suns at 9 o'clock next 30 minutes from now. There's also the Nuggets and the Trailblazers, Pelicans and the Clippers tonight. Will Bronny get a chance to shoot some points tonight? We all know LeBron ain't there tonight. I know how Chuck feels about LeBron. Versus Ja Monet. There's Booker versus Laurie. There's Joker.
But wait a minute. I don't mean to interrupt your promotion of the Underdog right now, but dog,
Did you
you
say
ain't
John
mentioned
Monet?
no. Yeah,
Ja,
he said
Ja
John
Rome-
Monet, dog. But dog, man,
Ja.
hold on. Before you finish this commercial, dog, listen, man. How come you ain't mentioned Austin Reeves, the great white hope in Los Angeles? Austin
RA15.
Reeves. Yeah.
There's RA15 and there's Luca. You
You can take his PRA tonight. You know what I'm saying?
You can boost it. There you go. Boost that PRA. Boost AR-15's PRA. Shoot. Go for a look if you think he can score about 20 plus tonight. Boost that.
They say Austin Reeves is the new Jeremy Lin out here.
Jeremy
That's
Lin.
exactly
Oh,
what it
God.
is.
It could
Man,
be,
don't
yeah.
disrespect her like that.
And then you know it's gonna be an inappropriate joke by Jason Whitlock.
Oh God.
Yeah, man. Anyway, so there's Zion tonight going against Kawhi Leonard and James Harden, and them. You could boost his props tonight. You know, is Zion gonna get 8+ rebounds tonight? You never know. Will Kawhi Leonard get over 18.5 points? If you think so, boost it. But, you know, there's also hockey tonight. You know, the Red Wings going against the quack Anaheim Ducks at 9 o'clock tonight on ESPN Plus. You know, Detroit's hot, 8-3. Anaheim, they're 5-3-1. You know, you got Gibson versus old squad. You know, you could boost, you know, those Larkin points up or his assists up. So, you know, download Underdog right now. Enter Kingdom Cast in bold letters, and let's cash these bets. Let's do it, baby. That's how we're going to go out in Boost Over month. So that's the end of that. Yes, AR-15 is on a run. He is a beast right now. And I'm paying attention, man. I respect this game. You know, listen, man, you know I had to give you shit about that thing because that LeBron thing for all them years I've ever seen your tweets about LeBron, bro. I'm like, you and my brother, man. It's like the second person who I know besides my brother who be saying the same about LeBron, man. He already said it. LeBron's a 6'8" linebacker playing basketball. I'm just because we all know he played football and he had all those great accolades and everything else like that.
I like these baby blue Toronto uniforms. This is kind of dope. I like those.
Hey, that's probably a homage to the year they played that last they won that World Series, 93, man. So we don't know, man. Game 6 in the 6th. You never know, man.
Dodgers up 3-1 right now. Ohtani's at bat.
Oh, snap. Uh-oh. We'll
I've never seen him play. I ain't like no baseball this year.
I ain't gonna lie, it's like my first full year watching baseball, and it was actually fun. But man, they might force game 7. So, fellas, you got anything you guys want to say before we get up out of here?
Bring on that W Sunday, man.
Dubs.
All right, Chiefs Kingdom. I want to say, Chuck, thank you for coming on, man. And also, Country, thank you, man. Now the show is really official that you just hopped on, man. Coming through the clutch, man. Thank y'all very much. And Chiefs Kingdom, let's get this dub. Let's go 6-3. Let's go into this bye week, refocus our game, and let's get it, man. It's time to go back to that promised land and claim what's ours. Deuces. Let's get that W, Chiefs Kingdom.
Eat a W.
Eat a W.